Hello, Mark Waters and class. Nothing like waiting to the last minute to do your homework, am I right? Very happy to be here. Mark, you were the second person on Tuesday to ask me, who is my audience? I was very reluctant to narrow that down because there are aspects of what I do that are for everybody. But despite myself, there seems to be a theme. So when I was pondering who my audience was, what came up was people who have been through crazy fucked up shit, which I will define clearer before the end of this video. And then for why am I here, what came up was because I've figured out how to heal like Wolverine. Um, Again, I will clarify crazy fucked up shit. I'm not here because I figured out how to heal like Wolverine. I am here because I want to teach. And I love teaching this stuff. So, before I talk about my promise and how you actually inspired my vision moving forward, I'd like to share with you guys the part that's for everybody. Okay, so this is a Ferris wheel. You can see that Ferris is spelled funny. It's a play off of the word iron. And I use this illustration when working with my clients to kind of help depict what it is that we are focusing on. Thank you for being here. My name is Morgan Mark. I said in the school community that my business name was rooted in nature. It apparently is not. The other person who asked who my audience was said that it's not. So working title there, but I'm still Morgan Mark, I think. This rudimentary illustration is of a Ferris wheel. Ferris is a play off of the word iron, and I use this analogy when working with my clients so we can get a clearer picture of how to address the ailments that they've sought me out for. And I've worked with people as a root cause protocol consultant. It'll be 5 years in May. And I've worked with people from all walks of life, male, female, various ages, all different ailments. And so I use the Ferris wheel to kind of talk about what they're dealing with. So let's say you've got arthritis or asthma, allergies, acne, Alzheimer's runs in your family. I don't know any more A words. Insomnia is a big one. Lots of sleep issues, gut problems. I don't know. Whatever you got going on, we put it on the seats of this Ferris wheel. And we've been kind of programmed like circus bears to keep an eye on the Ferris wheel seats and address those. And I'm here to say we should start asking what's running the technology? What's going on here? What's making this whole system run? And the answer is there's 3 heavy hitters. It's retinol, magnesium, and copper. All right, so minerals run the show, ladies and gentlemen. Magnesium and copper are the predominant, most important 2. We burn magnesium under acute day-to-day stressors. We lose copper due to chronic stress. We also lose copper because of the evil empire. For example, you can thank the United States, Mark Waters, for unleashing glyphosate into the world. That chelates copper out of the body. You're welcome. That genie's not going back in the bottle. You can also thank the United States for Procter & Gamble unleashing canola oil onto humanity and telling everybody that that's healthy instead of butter. What else do we got? Oh, in the United States, we started fortifying wheat with iron in the 40s, and then we doubled it in the 60s. And we didn't double it. We raised it. We seem to really hate people here. You said not to script this, and I'm starting to wonder if that was a bad idea. I don't focus on that stuff when I'm teaching people. It's just early and I get angry. So, we lose magnesium and copper due to stressors in our lives. And I want people to stop looking at the seats of their Ferris wheel and start asking and connecting those symptoms to their stress. Because when we lose magnesium and copper, copper is really important. It runs an enzyme function called ferroxidase. When we don't have enough bioavailable copper in the form of ceruloplasma for ferroxidase enzyme function, iron will get dysregulated. And it will start to store in tissue, and we get symptoms. So, if this resonates with you at all, there is a free handbook online for the root cause protocol, www.rcp123.org. It's a really great resource. You can learn more than a doctor in a weekend, and I really wish I was joking. So in summary, minerals run the show, fat-soluble vitamins activate those minerals. Retinol is the fat-soluble form of vitamin A, not to be confused with beta-carotene. Iron stored in tissue is exposed to oxygen, and it oxidizes and rusts. And then you get symptoms based on your unique DNA. And that's why it looks like there's just so many things to treat, but the technology is the same, and it's highly intelligent, and it's designed to heal. So that's the paradigm shift. That's the focus with the root cause protocol. Now, I said that's for everybody, but my audience is the people who have been through crazy fucked up shit. So I'm going to use this Ferris wheel I'm going to change it a little bit and tell you guys a little bit about the rest of my teachers. Okay, I know that looks really messy right now. I'm going to walk you through it. So, if you're in my audience, your Ferris wheel is haunted. Haunted AF. It is rusty as hell. It's in a cursed carnival. You're stuck on top, you're afraid of heights, and your bucket seat is full of ghosts. I went on a haunted Ferris wheel ride recently, and it kicked off with confusion. Now, Richard Grannon, one of my teachers, as luck would have it, sir, your content's been like dead on timely for me, but he posted a video about how this particular crazy fucked up shit is heartbreak. Oh, I did not. Heartbreak plus confusion. And I was like, right. The heartbreak part really released a lot of that. It was the confusion and the looking back at the source of the confusion that really kind of kicked this roller coaster ride off. And it went from confusion to fear and panic. Really bad fear and panic because of all the crazy fucked up shit. Fear and panic, and there's just so many things for my mind machine to pull from, unfortunately, that it really spiraled. And it's all right. Some really good things came out of that. Laura Black and Kevin, it was so nice getting to work with both of you. You've really had such a great impact on my life. Thank you. But by the time I let go of the fear and confusion, which was easy to do, drop that right off, the wheel was already spinning, and it moved right on up into shame. I was like, God, I'm a jackass. Not only am I a jackass, I'm wrong. I am wrong about so many things. I've got it all backwards. I'm an idiot. And to top it all off, I'm a judgy asshole. And I kind of stayed on that shame train for a couple days. This, let go like that. That was a little bit harder for me to let go of, but then I did. And I'm glad that I did. And then Richard, you posted that video with Dr. Romney talking about like joy killers. And I was the person that wrote like, holy shit, that movie theater story was really, really sad. And then a couple hours later, I was bawling. I mean, just crying my eyes out. It was so good. And then the next day, I cried some more from a different vantage point of that. And Robert Scheinfeld, so one of the things that was nice about that experience this time, there's no story. No story. just sadness. And Karla McLaren, who's one of my teachers, she wrote, let me go get that. She wrote this book, The Language of Emotions. This is for everybody. If you want to become fluent in your native tongue, check out this book. Richard Grannon, I feel like if you had read this book, you would be talking about it. This is most definitely for you, sir. There's aspects of how it's laid out that are perfect for the emotional literacy work in your free course on YouTube called Fortress Mental Health Protection. If you are in my audience, you should check that out. It's free. So, Karla McLaren talks about how sadness, that the gift of sadness allows us to let go of things that were no longer serving us to begin with. And Robert Scheinfeld is my favorite person on the board. I did his course, The Ultimate Freedom Experience. I talk about it in my last video. And the magic trick that he showed me was, you could have this is pure raw experience. And then this is the story that we attach to it. And that kind of can cause lots of pain and suffering and struggle. But if they can attach, they can unattach. You can actually have the experience without the story, and it changes the game. It really does. It's a good magic trick. So, Richard Grannon, when this kicked off, I actually blamed you at first. I was like, I got to stop thinking about this stuff. And that wasn't actually what happened. Actually, Kevin, the magical therapist, shaman, business advisor man. Kevin, do you have a title? I don't know what to call you. I said something about, the pull of looking back, and he was like, no, that's just the PTSD. And I was like, right. And it was not from thinking about all the horrible things. It was actually triggered the day before on a kayaking trip, and I realized I should set boundaries with people who are rude and mean. Maybe don't hang out with people that are mean to me, and don't speak to others with compassion. What a novel idea. And I actually really love that person. They're just not for me right now. I need to protect my very fragile heart that was shattered just a couple months ago. And I know what it's like to be a judgy asshole. I've been that. So no judgment there at all. Just need to have better boundaries. I don't know why I feel the need to explain that to anybody right now. All right, this seems like a good point to further define crazy fucked up shit. So I actually like the notes that I made from my session with Kevin when he was talking about the soul loss that this kind of abuse incurs from the shame dumping and the second guessing and doubting myself was affecting other parts of my life. Yeah, it was. But this is the crazy fucked up part. You get shamed in these situations into non-existence. Richard Grannon talks about how you can no longer be. You do not have permission to be. You do not have permission to exist. In the words of Kevin, the magical therapist shaman man, that's fucked up. And it is. It's very damaging. So, Mark Waters, I never in a million years dreamed I would be here with you right now. It's so weird. But I had stopped kind of watching your content. I didn't want to think about YouTube. I really honestly don't want to be here. But you had posted a video kind of about walking people through a transformative experience versus like coaching and like courses, like how that model is dying. How do we walk people through a transformative experience? And that seed plant led me to thinking about what I do a little bit differently, because I've been doing this for a while. My specialty was these people finding me, and then my real specialty became the people that were in those situations and didn't know it finding me. So I was like walking them through this process, but we would get to the end and I was like throwing Karla McLaren's book at them and being like, good luck. I hope you were well enough resourced for the crazy roller coaster ride that you're on. And I was like, I really need to do this differently. So thank you for that seed plant. And I'd had it kind of outlined and mapped out for the most part. But then recently there was a very unexpected plot twist when I was making a video about Robert Scheinfeld's work, which is kind of hard to explain. And there's an odd character in my story. His name is also Mark. And on this ride, there was a certain point, well, Richard Grannon, you had posted a video about identity and how it can be very hard to recover from the difficulty of recovering from this kind of fucked up shit and not going back to it because there's an identity piece that needs to change. And I, after making that video, the last video, actually watched Mark England's TED Talk, and then I watched all of the Cosmic Giggle, and then like half of the Danny Morell interview and like another 10-minute interview. And I walked over to my whiteboard, which was laid out a little bit differently, and I very begrudgingly crossed out Robert Scheinfeld's name, who I wasn't going to use for this portion exactly. There's no, I could never be Robert Scheinfeld. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all times. I could never teach what he teaches, how he teaches it. Check out his work. Maybe don't do the Ultimate Freedom Experience. Maybe try one of the others. I bet the Emotional Freedom course he has is stellar, and I can't wait to check it out. Anyway, I very wrote down Mark England's name, and I sat down on the floor and I looked at it. I was a little irritated. I was like, that's enough work for today. And I went to the pool. And then I was like, okay, what is it? What is it that I'm feeling exactly? And I was like, oh, it's envy. I'm feeling envy. We're back at fear. Got it. Got to get off this Ferris wheel. So I actually took the time to write Mark's name in there with a little bit more respect. And some things became a little bit more clear. All right, to sum this up, Mark Waters, what the vision that you helped me create when you were talking about walking people through a transformative experience. We experience our being through a body, mind, emotions, and spirit. They are all of equal importance. And people coming to me for the request protocol, there's a lot of focus obviously here. And this is a really good place to start. I would start people here for 3 weeks. We continue to do that through the whole process, but then we just add, right? So a 12-week process. And then on that path, I'm toying around with the name, the Spirited Path over Rooted in Nature, which is out. That one's out. Let me know what you think. On this path, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just keep walking it. After that 12 weeks, you have a community of support. Just keep going. You don't have to change anything. Just keep going. It gets better, which brings me to my promise. When I first was writing down, like, what is my promise? I wrote down you minus bullshit equals wow. That's not exactly a promise. It's more like a statement of fact. But I can promise you that who you really are is beyond your wildest imaginations. You can't even comprehend how bright your light is. And we're living in a time where we need you. We need you. We need you to not be on this crazy, haunted, fucked up roller coaster ride. We need you to not have all this bullshit and to start shining your light in the world. And I can promise you on this path, you will get there. I can't promise, no, 12 weeks, that's one season. You're going to see some changes. People experience changes within days sometimes. I've had people call me and they're like, I'm sleeping better. And I'm like, just wait. It's exciting. I do have a couple questions for the audience. Mark England, how do you feel, sir, about identifying as a spiritual teacher? Is that something that you identify as? Are you, like, is it undercover? You can work with Mark England if you're a coach or you do CrossFit. Mark England, the work that you're doing has far, far broader ramifications for the world. I think what you're doing is cool. I just think that you have a larger audience than you realize. I hope that you agree because Kevin, mailing list, marketing, audience, partner coming in, double the energy could be good. I agree. If it's not you, I don't have the slightest foggiest idea of who it could be. So if you're interested in working on a project that undermines the systems of control that have been enslaving humanity since the dawn of time, could be fun. You let me know. If you're not, I will leave you alone and probably bump into you in the street in like 3 or 4 years. Mark Waters, apparently, this would have more of an edge in person and be more powerful. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe it's both. Class, thank you for your feedback. Let me know what you think about the Spirited Path as a name. I'm really happy to be here with y'all. I'm not going to be in the classes live. I did the math wrong on the time change, and I'll do my best to keep up. A lot of you said that you related to my post in the community. Like the title was "The Fool," and being in that beginning stage. And Kevin said this to me, and it's comforting. So maybe it'll be comforting for you. He said being mentally scattered is good. With confusion comes growth. And if you don't have the confusion, there's no room to build anything new. And that's true. So I wish us all the best of luck. Check out the root cause protocol. Really helps regulate your nervous system on this journey that you're embarking on and bringing your life's work into the world. I'm super proud of you. What a bold, audacious goal. And I'll see y'all in school.